Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to isolate some angle of the race that gives us a path to finding the winner. Well, Saturday racing this week in Hong Kong, and it's a day where I think we're going to see John Size already leading the Trainers' Championship table. I think he's going to extend that lead. He looks the dominant trainer on the card. So I thought we'd take just a little quick detour here, a bit of a John Size appreciation detour, if you like, to have a look at how his middle of the season has gone, along with his counterparts. So everyone is aware that every season we see the big mid-season move from John Size, and this is the premiership in Hong Kong if you started it from December 1 this season. And especially this season we've seen this big move from Size, and this puts a couple of numbers on it. Since the start of December, Size has smashed the lights out. 34 winners, a high strike rate, miles clear of two trainers who themselves are going well, David Hayes and Ricky Yu. And unusually for Size, he's even performing ahead of market expectations, even though those expectations are always so very high. So he's certainly going to be the trainer to follow on Saturday, and features very prominently in the first race we're going to take a look at. That's race 9, where our winning factor is the map. So this is a Class 3, 1400 metres, featuring last start winners in Juno Pride and the ever-consistent Master of All. They're both strong chances. Victory Sky is racing well, and Kaholo Angel, I think, looks a chance to bounce back and run well after finally drawing low this time. But for me, this race is mostly about the head-to-head rematch of Victory Sky and Juno Pride after they clashed in a race last month. This is race 454, Gate 2 blue colours Victory Sky and Gate 5 Juno Pride in green. Now both began well, and Andrea Zeni has the luxury of taking a trail and letting it all unfold on Victory Sky from Gate 2, while Brenton Avdulla has a little bit more to think about with Juno Pride to get around a couple and get into the stalking position. And he does that during a second section that you'll see on the heat map has run a fair bit faster than average. So when they straighten up, Avdulla comes out, commits Juno Pride early. At Zeni, he does look slightly held up, waiting for Juno Pride to go. But remember, his mount has had a cosy trip, should finish with a flourish, but Juno Pride holds him pretty well, and as well holds the late rush of last week's winner, Amor War Eagle. Now, no fancy margins there for the favourite if you backed him, but got the job done. Now, fans of Victory Sky, they'll say that being held up at the top of the straight certainly cost that horse something, and now there's a £6 weight turnaround in his favour over Juno Pride. So I'm sure that there will be people who want to back Victory Sky to turn the tables. But the winning factor on this race is the map, so let's have a look at where that comes into play. I think this time it looks more in favour of Juno Pride. Now they've switched barriers. Juno Pride from Gate 5 to Gate 2 this time. He'll land behind some good leaders here in a genuine tempo without having to be used at all to get where he needs to be. For his part, Victory Sky, this time he goes from Gate 2 to Gate 5. I don't think he's the kind of horse who's going to be forced forward, so he's again going to have to sit behind Juno Pride, this time with Juno Pride not doing as much work in the middle stages. So the tip from me in race 9, Juno Pride, his winning factor, the map. Now, certainly both horses racing well and raced well in that replay that we saw, but Juno Pride did have to be used a little bit in the first half of that race to get where he was. That left him vulnerable when it came chips down time in the straight. He was still able to hold on and win. I know there's a weight turnaround with Victory Sky, but I think this time the switch in the map is going to mean that he has more left at the finish, and that's going to make the difference. The other race I'm taking a look at is race 10, and our winning factor here, acceleration. So this is a Class 3, a pretty handy Class 3 actually, over 1400 metres. Some good quality in this with Sky Trust, dropping back to 1400 metres after pulling far too hard in the Classic Cup. King Miles is a handy type, but with some excuses recently. Beauty Crescent, yet to win in Hong Kong, but very consistent at this level. But for me, the central point of this race is the clash of a rising star 3-year-old Sky Jewellery and a very smart 4-year-old in Hong Kong Golf. Now, after winning his first 2 starts at 1200 metres, Hong Kong Golf stepped out again at his 3rd start over that distance. Let's see what happened. This is race 416. He's in gate 6, red colours. He's got a big white face and he jumps well, and the heat map shows there's no pace early. But because he is in gate 6, Harry Bentley is forced to steady or get caught wide, and what that allows is the eventual winner, Righteous Arian, to get in front of him from his slightly better draw. Not something Bentley could have done much about, but it does prove the difference in the end when Hong Kong Golf in the straight is strung up behind another runner, then is unable to bridge the gap on the winner, Righteous Arian, when he does get clear. So he's certainly no pushover, Hong Kong Golf. He should be 3 from 3, and he's a horse who's, I think, probably going to go to Class 2. And he's a 4-year-old. He matches up here with a 3-year-old, who I think is going to become one of the big names in Hong Kong racing next season, and that's Sky Jewellery. So let's have a look at his most recent win. This is race 449, gate 13, pink colours, and he jumps okay, but Hugh Bowman is in no hurry here and lets this favourite drift back to the rear. Now, the pace is sound enough for the first 600 metres, but there's a critical change of tempo after the 800 metres when the pace drops out of the lead. Now, the popular view is that run-on horses would prefer the strong tempo, but a slowdown at this point actually helps Sky Jewellery. The field concertinas packs up. Bowman is able to track up and get closer without actually spending any energy to get there. And then Sky Jewellery sprints brilliantly between the 300 metres and the 100 metres and wins in some style. Now, if we did have anti-post betting on the 2026 Derby, I think Sky Jewellery would be a worthy favourite right now. Obviously quite a bit of water to flow under that particular bridge, but it gives you some idea of the standard of horse we're talking. He's got that great acceleration that separates the good from the exceptional, and I think he's going to need it on Saturday when we take a look at the race map, because this race is not offering a lot in terms of pace. So we might get a different shape of race where the leaders are actually quickening this time at the moment in the race where they were coming back to him last start. Now, we've seen Sky Trust successfully lead and race on the lead in races, and riding together probably has the speed to lead as well, but I don't think there's a real commitment to a good pace here. A slow tempo looks likely. Now, Sky Jewellery has a better draw than last time, but still slightly awkward with a few inside him. He'll have to concede a start again to the front runners, which will likely include Hong Kong Golf, who is stepping up in distance, and he should be the one going clear while his major rival is still winding up. But the tip in race 10, Sky Jewellery, his winning factor, acceleration. Now, I don't think this is going to be a pushover for this favourite, though I have a very high opinion of him. Hong Kong Golf is a pretty good horse. He gets the best of the map. He's a year older than Sky Jewellery, and he certainly has the talent to give him a proper race here. But Sky Jewellery has that kind of acceleration that gets horses out of trouble, and I think that's going to be his edge when push comes to shove this time. Well, that's it from the winning factor this week. Good luck on Saturday. We'll see you next time.